Stop recording.
Hi.
Good morning,
Double dash tab to
everyone.
activate that period.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Today it's April 9th, 2026. It is around 9 o'clock a.m. and welcome, guys, to another video, guys. So, my morning started pretty rough, guys. There was no argument, but it was mentally, it started pretty rough because, remember what I told you guys when I have this fear of, when it comes to entering the train, guys, the fear, guys, is very powerful, guys. Sometimes, our fears are so powerful in our control. And, the only thing to do is to, just let it exist in our mind without, clinging onto it, really. So, it's really about achieving a level of mindfulness. I recommend myself and everyone else, guys, it can be any kind of fear, guys. It can be the fear about getting onto the train or whatever. The key is not letting the fear take over your experience. It's all about, separating reality from anticipation in this case, because my brain anticipates scenarios, and when the reality occurs, it's not the same. It's different. I end up boarding safely and everything is fine. But it's just the anticipation that's making things worse. Ever since March 8th. And guys, I was asking Google about my channel yesterday. I was asking Google, what is the history of Emmanuel the Positive guy? My history is not correct at all. AI is incorrect. Because I didn't start my channel in 2014. I did not start a channel. I was like 3. I started my channel just a couple weeks ago, in March. In 2014, I was 3 years old. I didn't even think about making a YouTube channel. And now, and also, second of all, I did not record that 2014 video of the train. How will I even think of recording at age 3? That's not even true. Well, AI can sometimes be a little bit incorrect, but the truth is, I started my YouTube channel in late March, just a couple weeks ago, guys. Literally, almost 2 weeks ago, I started my channel. And, Google was incorrect, guys. Totally incorrect. Because how will I start a YouTube channel in 2012 or 2014 if I was just 1 or 3 years old? Like, you're crazy. So yeah, guys, anyways, guys, I really want you guys to remember something really important. That sometimes our fear is not reality sometimes. Because, we might have fear of, let's say, something bad happening in general. Instead of believing it's real, try to think of it as just anticipation. You might be scared of a concert or performance, afraid of being judged. But, the best way to overcome it is by actually trying, even if it's just 5 minutes of trying something new, instead of forcing yourself. Because a lot of people say, conquer your fears. And, well, for me, it doesn't seem specific, because some people just mean conquer their fears as forcing themselves through their fears and creating that paradoxical effect that can turn into trauma, I mean. That's not what we want. We want slow steps. Because, let's say you have a fear of water. Like I used to have fear of going into the pool. Instead of forcing yourself in, you can just, put your feet in, put one foot in and then another foot, then take another step down. Slowly your brain learns that it's safe, and that's how you grow emotionally in the long term. Now with the train situation, it's a bit different because, in the train system, you cannot take your time. You have to find a balance, because if you go too fast, you can absolutely, it's pretty dangerous. You can possibly trip with someone or fall between the, get your foot stuck in between the gap in the platform and the train. It's really about finding a balance. Go at your steady pace. Not too slow, not too fast, but steady. Like I used to do back then. But now, going on the train does not feel like it used to feel. It used to feel normal. But now it's more, it's surrounded by fear and stuff. I still love the R142. I still love going on the train. But, the problem is the boarding. Boarding onto the train is the only issue that probably needs to be fixed. So, well, not fixed, but, need to be solved in a calm way instead of a forceful way. So, yeah, guys, I'm at my Aunt Susan's house like always. And, they're still sleeping, so they're probably gonna wake up much later. Let's say at 11 a.m. because they always wake up late. I feel like they shouldn't be waking up late because, it's odd, it's awkward. For me, guys, I personally prefer waking up really early, including on weekends. Waking up at the same time each day, including on weekends. So that means, like on Sundays, I usually wake up at 6:30 instead of, 9 o'clock, like people prefer. It's really about keeping your circadian rhythm balanced. I wake up around the same time each day, including on weekends. Now, pretty soon, on Monday, guys, I have school again, so I have to wake up at 5:40. That's why I'm waking up at a consistent schedule during the break. Especially the schedule is forcing me to wake up at like 6:30. Yeah, so, it's good to keep a consistent schedule to keep your circadian rhythm in balance. Because, you might wake up at 9 a.m. on Sunday and then 6 a.m. on Monday. That's a huge difference. Your body gets confused. So we want to avoid that confusion. Yeah, so... Well, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I might do some editing. But in the meantime, guys, I hope everyone had enjoyed this video. I recommend you guys subscribe and give it a like. And turning on the notifications to stay up to date with my latest videos. And, my train videos if I ever post one. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.